Welcome to Turn Writing Fear Around podcast. Simple methods to overcome fear and start writing again. I'm Elise Hittinger, and I'm the host for your journey to courage. This is episode 70, Tackling Anxiety from the Ground Up. We're no different than our horses. If our horses were anxious, we'd help them work through it. Well, when we're anxious, we need to help ourselves work through it. And so many times we stay in that anxiety. We don't come back to calm. And yet we expect our horses to. We help our horses go through their anxiety and come back to calm. And so many times we just leave that anxiety hanging on us like a weight, keeping us from doing the things we love. And even in other areas of our life, we kind of just get in the habit of being in anxiety. And it's just so easy to go through that if you want to. You want to make the decision. I'm done with the anxiety. And once you make that decision, you can move mountains to get over your anxiety. So the first thing is, because we're so good at helping our horses work through anxiety, we can use those tools to help us work through anxiety. So with our horses, we find out what's making them anxious, and then we get them through association, doing work away from it, whatever processes we use for anxiety with our horses to then get back and be calm with the situation. We can do the same thing with us. Really look at your process for helping your horses overcome anxiety and really think about how can you use that for you? How can you implement that? My favorite one is when a horse gets anxious, I take them away from the situation and I do a little bit of work. And then I go back to the situation. And I repeat until when we go back to the situation, they're like, oh, this is a place of rest. This is a place of calm. If I go over to that other place, I have to work a little bit. Well, let's translate that into us. So if we get anxious a little bit, we can go physically move, do some jumping jacks, do some hula hooping, do some things to really exercise, and then go back to the situation and really think of it as a calm place. And you can repeat that. Repeat it a couple times until your subconscious goes, oh, wow, I don't need to be anxious here. There's nothing that's going to hurt me. And you can practice that before you ever get on your horse. And so that's number two, is to really practice the anxiety and then getting to calm. You want to practice that. You want to get your anxiety up, and then you want to come back and be the calm in the center of the storm. All the stuff swirling around you, it can just stay swirling around you. Find your calm. One of my favorites for that is to visualize a pond, a very still pond, and you can see the reflection of the moon in it. And you just know that all those ripples of life, that pond is going to come back to still. And just think about that still pond and that calm and practice that. Get anxious and then come back to the pond, that still pond. Get anxious and go work out a little bit and come back to the anxious. Whatever you need to do, practice the anxious and practice the calm. And then the third thing is get on your horse and practice confidence in the saddle. If you get a little anxious, remember the exercising. Move around a little bit, really do some thought exercises. Do some figure eights, do some small circles, do some leg yields. Whatever you and your horse are comfortable with, make it better. See if you can perfect it. That keeps your mind busy and you're practicing confidence in doing something well. So practice a little bit of anxiety and then getting back to confidence in the saddle. You got to get on and practice it at some point or you'll be like I was and not just riding at all, just hanging out on the couch. But really, if your horse is good and your horse is ready, go ahead and get on and practice your confidence. If you've enjoyed this, you know, preparation is key, and I just created a guide, free guide that talks about my methods for what happens if I have a bolt, a buck, a spook, or a rear. If one of those things happen, do I know what I'm going to do in that moment? And that gives me a ton of confidence, having a plan, knowing what I'll do in each situation. And I've practiced it on the horse without the situation happening so that it's kind of muscle memory if it does happen. Anyway, free guide, link in the comments. Love to have you get it. It'll help you just with your preparation for what if something happens. See you guys later.